If you're thinking of going to Amsterdam, you'll want to keep watching this video. Amsterdam has been at a lengthy crossroads with its relationship with tourism. Over the years, its popularity has grown dramatically, from welcoming 10 million visitors in 2009 to about 18 million in 2023. For a city with a population of roughly a million, this has resulted in overtourism, which the city is trying to control. And while the city isn't looking to discourage tourists from visiting altogether, it has taken a number of steps to address the problem, and more changes are on the way that will touch on nearly every aspect of your visit. So before you pack your bags, let me walk you through what to expect, how it can impact your visit, and some ideas to help you prepare. So to understand the changes, we first need to understand why they're needed to begin with. Overtourism affects Amsterdam in a lot of different ways. For one, its city center is relatively compact and can get easily overcrowded when too many people take to its narrow streets. Too many visitors also puts pressure on a strained housing market, and the upkeep of the city becomes increasingly expensive. Now, overtourism isn't an issue unique to Amsterdam, but aside from the sheer number of visitors, Amsterdam is also dealing with the added challenge: nuisance tourists, ones who visit Amsterdam, party hard, and who impact the city by raising noise levels, getting themselves into trouble, and just generally making the lives of locals miserable.
They're trying to deter the drunken, disorderly, stoned kind of behaviour that residents have been complaining about for a long time.
As the city puts it in their vision on tourism in 2035, tourists are still welcome, but our hospitality can no longer be at the detriment of our inhabitants' quality of life and mobility. And in an ongoing effort to strike a balance between its quality of life and the influx of tourists, the city is putting new rules in place. So what changes can you expect? Well, first, things are going to get more expensive. To raise revenue needed to maintain the city, starting in 2024, the tax to go on a canal cruise will increase from 1.5 to 2.5 euros. A day tax for sea and river cruise stopover passengers will go up from 8 to 14 euros, and the tourist tax for overnight stays will also go up, from 7% plus 3 euros per night per person to 12.5%. Now, hotel prices can vary, but to give you an example, if you're able to find a hotel room for say 200 euros a night, instead of paying an additional tourist tax of 17 euros, you'll now be paying an additional 25 euros instead. This one change will actually make Amsterdam the city with the highest tourist tax in all of Europe. With high demand and limited space for hotels, as well as the regulations placed on short-term rentals, accommodations have made Amsterdam one of the most expensive cities to vacation in Europe, with prices outranking Venice, Dublin, Florence, and Belfast in a recent survey. And since accommodations are just one travel expense you might incur, to give you an idea of what other travel expenses could look like, I'll just show you what I paid for some typical items recently. A coffee and pain au chocolat, 7.45 euros. A tour of the Amsterdam canals, 23 euros. A slice of pizza, 6.48 euros. A gin and tonic, 9.50 euros.
Hello, checking in.
And for accommodations, the NH Collection Amsterdam Flower Market Hotel, 553 euros a night. Next, here are some changes to the city center, specifically the red light district. Since its beginnings in the 14th century, the area has seen a long and evolving history with prostitution, with bans on various aspects of it being both lifted and applied. In current times, it's been the focus of the city's work on discouraging nuisance tourists. Recent changes have included requiring bars and restaurants to close earlier, from 3 a.m. on weekdays and 4 a.m. on weekends to 2 a.m. Closing times for brothels have also been moved up from 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. In addition, the public consumption of cannabis is now prohibited in parts of the city center, including the red light district, with those found smoking now facing a fine of 100 euros. These changes build on other rules established in recent years, which include restricting the hours that retail stores can sell alcohol and the ban of guided tours of the red light district. All this, though, is happening in the backdrop of an even more transformative proposal for the red light district, which is to relocate 100 of the 249 licensed prostitution windows from the current location to a multi-story erotic center in a different area of town. If it goes ahead, the complex is expected to be built and open for business in 2031. And while the proposal has seen intense debate among city officials, urban planners, sex workers, and the community, to me, there is something curious about modernizing such an institution because, as it is, the red light district does feel oddly out of date.
I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something so anachronistic, like out of its time about the red light district. In a modern online era, it feels like a relic of the past.
So what would I suggest keeping in mind if you're looking to visit Amsterdam? First, think about traveling outside the peak tourist season between May and August. Not only will it be less crowded, it'll also be less expensive. The less crowded shoulder seasons are typically from March to April and September to November.
It really seems like September is one of the best times to be coming to Amsterdam. The weather's incredible, but we're slightly off peak tourist season, and so you don't have to deal with things like overcrowding. So far, everything's been great.
Second, consider staying just a touch outside of the city center, where you'll find many more options for hotels at various price points. I particularly like the area just south of the Canal Belt, in particular the neighborhood of the Pijp, about a 20-minute walk from central Amsterdam. De Pijp is a popular and lively residential area. It has a touch of a bohemian vibe to it and has all kinds of artisan shops, cafes, and restaurants. It's also home to the Albert Kip Market, one of the most charming street markets I've ever been to, and also one of the biggest in Europe, hosting 260 market stalls that sell fresh produce, flowers, used clothes, jewelry, and stroopwafels. There you'll also find Sarfati Park, an excellent location to chill on weekends.
And could I have the shakshuka?
Yes.
Third, search for local businesses and restaurants that could benefit most from tourist dollars. I'd also say avoid the flashy and overpriced stroopwafel stores. With all that said, do I think Amsterdam is worth visiting these days? Absolutely. It's a beautiful historic city that feels like a life-size diorama sometimes. People are friendly and there are great restaurants. If you saw my video on Berlin, you would know how much I love biking to get around, and it's always been a dream getting to experience Amsterdam's approach to cycling. And with your bike, there are plenty of places just outside of Amsterdam worth visiting too. And it's these diverse aspects of the Amsterdam experience that the city wants to focus on as it reimagines its future tourism. After all, the city doesn't want to stop people from visiting altogether, but instead set limits to address a complex phenomenon and to prevent unsustainable growth. So in this time of overtourism, you'll want to plan your trip strategically. So I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share it with someone you know who's planning on visiting Amsterdam, and hit subscribe for more. See you in the next one.